how I felt in my marriage when we were both working so hard as medical students and then in training and then new attendings with babies. And I just thought, oh, the problem is that we don't have enough time together. If only we had more time together. And then we had more time together. We weren't working evenings and had most weekends off, and we didn't have children in diapers until we had more children. But we did have a phase because we have big gaps between some of our kids. Anyway, point is that we had more time together, and while we were having sex and it was functional, it was fun, meaning I had orgasms, but it didn't open my soul. It didn't fuel our relationship. It was just this activity that we did, which of course is better than not doing it or doing it and not enjoying it. We did enjoy it, but I just knew there was so much more that was available in making love and in blending our bodies and souls in this incredible way, and that I could feel so much more, but I had no idea how to get there. And the thing that is really relevant is that I had already done therapy, I had been coached, I had done all kinds of personal growth trainings and really transformed my mindset. I was a grateful person. I took responsibility for how I feel and was calm a lot of the time. I mean, not all the time, let's be clear. But the point is that I had reconnected with joy in my life. I had learned how to feel like I was being me in my personal and professional life, but not in our sex life. It's like our sex life was disconnected from the rest of our marriage, from the rest of my life, or it was compartmentalized. And the thing is that there are times when, sex is compartmentalized, but I wanted it to feel more continuous, more like a form of self-expression that was coherent with the rest of the experiences that I was having. So I put my attention on how to really grow my sex life. It's like our marital sex life was immature compared to the rest of our ability to communicate with one another and enjoy deep and delightful moments. It was like we were mature throughout our marriage, but our sex life stayed, relatively speaking, immature. So my very first priority was to grow my sex life, was to learn how to have it reflect the truth of the depth of our love, our aligned values, and it meant getting out of our heads and letting our bodies enjoy one another as much as we otherwise enjoyed one another. Now, this episode is not so much about how we did that, about how I learned to relax and enjoy and both dominate and be responsive. Dominate in the sense of direct the experience in a way that satisfied me, and also just really surrender and let the energy flow, or be a good playmate to whatever leadership my husband was exhibiting in the bedroom. The point is that we learn to have our sexual relationship be expressive of the love we shared for one another. However, the next frontier, because there's always a frontier for learning and growth. So first, I learned how to really enjoy my life. Then I learned how to enjoy my sex life. And then the next frontier, which is really what I want to focus on with you today, is that I began to feel in a different way that our sex life was disconnected from the rest of our life. And let me explain exactly what I mean. So previously, it's like we got along and were happy with one another, but our sex life was comparatively dialed down. Then we learned how to dial up our sex life and really tap into passion and have erotic energy and a kind of communion of our bodies that expanded my soul. And yes, of course, the orgasms were bigger and better, but so was just lying next to one another and feeling his breath near me and making out, and like the whole thing felt like a richly erotic experience. Like the main change to our sex life is that it no longer just felt like having sex. It was infused with eroticism and intimacy and kind of the right amount of tension and this very deep connection.